So, part two of the Zitlasa or the Red Bird story, right? So, a Native American woman who is voicing her opinion or criticizing dogma, and also her experiences belonging to a marginalized community and also being a woman. So far, what we have read is that Zitlasa, who was at one point very much excited to go to the boarding school, when she reaches the boarding school, what her experiences are, she has catalogued in her autobiography. And the extract in our book, it starts with the first day. First day, you should have those 2 3 points in para 1, that it was extremely cold, that there was a lot of bedlam of voices and noises that she could not understand. There were these harsh noises of shoes clattering on the floor. There was this bell clinging, again a very harsh noise over there for her at that point. Why? How you look at things or surroundings or happenings around you belong it completely depends upon your insides. If you're going to feel bad in your inside, everything, so all the sounds, like I told in the previous video, they've got these adjectives, harsh and clattering and noisy, and she felt her spirit wanted to escape, but of course it was pretty much useless. Second big paragraph describes her first experience of dining. So this was eating by formula, and of course she failed miserably. And as they were walking in line to the dining room itself, there were certain emotions going through her. First, her soft skin shoes are not making noise, but she sees others wearing strange shoes which are clattering away, making a lot of noise. She sees girls belonging to her tribe, her community, wearing tight fitted dresses. She is already feeling very self conscious and embarrassed because her blanket has been taken from her. She is looking out for other boys who had come with her in her group, to that school. She spies, she catches a sight of them, and she sees that, of course, they're also feeling absolutely uncomfortable. Then you should know for your answers that what was this eating by formula? Eating by formula, the first bell indicated pull out chairs. Second bell indicated sit, and then a man would indicate that start your prayers. And then the third bell, which meant now you start eating. She doesn't know any of it and she does all wrong things. And by the end of it, when the third bell rings, she starts crying out of embarrassment, a feeling of failure, a feeling of being in the spotlight for the wrong reasons, whatever. But that was not the worst thing that happened on the first day itself. More is in store that we are going to read now today. That her friend could understand some English and she had heard a word or two here and there, and she comes back and tells her, now they are going to cut our hair. And like we had discussed, that short hair in their tribe meant you are a coward in war or you are mourning. You're an unskilled warrior. So it was pretty insulting. So from here we are on the second page of our text. We discussed our fate some moments, and when Judvin said we have to submit because they are strong, I rebelled. This points out to the human spirit, which is very resilient. It's very resilient, mind you. These are young girls, young kids. They are, in a boarding school which belongs to the other community, and still, this young girl says, "No, I will not submit. I will struggle first." When Judvin says there's nothing much we can do, they're going to cut our hair, they are strong, we really can't, we don't have a chance. Zitlasa says that no, I will struggle first. I'll try. I'll not immediately allow them to cut my hair. I watched my chance, and when no one noticed, I disappeared. I crept up the stairs as quietly as I could in my squeaking shoes. Squeaking shoes alliteration. First person narrative, autobiographical extract. Zitlasa herself is the main character, and she's writing in that first person narrative. She's telling us she watched her chance, means whenever she just looked out for the best possible opportunity and then crept out quietly, as quietly as she could, because her moccasins had been taken away and now she was wearing the same squeaky shoes. Along the hall I passed without knowing whither I was going. Turning aside to an open door, I found a large room with 3 white beds in it. The windows were covered with dark green curtains which made the room very dim. Thankful that no one was there, I directed my steps towards the corner farthest from the door. सबसे दूर corner जो दरवाजे से बहुत दूर है. She went that side on my hands and knees. That's the illustration in the textbook. So crawling, she went under the bed and huddled myself in the dark corner. So the poor girl is just trying to hide. She took her chance As quietly as her shoes would allow her, she went to the farthest corner of her room, a quite dark room, and she just huddled under the bed, thinking that she is safe. From my hiding place, I peered out. Peering, of course, is looking for a long time at one place, shuddering with fear whenever I heard footsteps nearby. Though in the hall, loud voices were calling my name, and I knew that even Judwin was searching for me. I did not open my mouth to answer. Then the steps were quickened and the voices became excited. The sounds came nearer and nearer. You've got to imagine all this. Women and girls entered the room. I held my breath and watched them open cupboard doors, closet doors, peep behind large trunks. Someone threw up the curtains and the room was filled with sudden light. What caused them to stoop and look under the bed, I do not know. Stoop, of course, bend. I remember being dragged out, though I resisted by kicking and scratching wildly. In spite of myself, I was carried downstairs, tied fast in a chair. Many more terrible instances are there that you can read up in books in human history. But put yourself in the mind of a young, impressionable girl who has come to a place full of dreams, full of excitement, and on the first day itself, first, when she's eating food, she cries. Second, she is told by her close friend that their long hair needs to be shingled, which in her community is an extremely bad thing to do. Her spirit inside tells her to resist. She takes up the only option that she can, that of hiding. From her hiding place, where she thought she would be safe, she is pulled out. Imagine all of that. She is pulled out. She is tied to a chair. I cried aloud, shaking my head all the while until I felt the cold blades of scissors against my neck and heard them gnaw off, roughly chop, gnaw off one of my thick braids, choti, one of my thick braids, plaits, choti. Then I lost my spirit. This sentence, very important, significant. Then I lost my spirit. Just two paragraphs ago, she was like telling her friend's telling her, we can't resist, they are very, very strong. And she's saying, no, I will not submit, I will resist. I will do whatever I can in my own capacity. And now I lost my spirit. She's tied to a chair. Her plait is taken and a metallic scissor, just cold blade. These adjectives, very important. Cold blade, just cuts off. Then I lost my spirit. Since the day I was taken from my mother, I had suffered extreme indignities, insults, being treated as subhuman. Your self-respect, you denied that. So she says, since the first day, since the day she was taken from her mother, she had suffered a lot. People had stared at me, just that much is infringing upon your right as a human being. That if I continuously stare at you in a derogatory manner, that's infringing upon your right as a free human. So she says, people had stared at me. I had been tossed about in air like a wooden puppet. And now my long hair was shingled like a coward's, because for her understanding, that belongs to a coward, the shingled hair. In my anguish, I mourned for my mother, but no one came to comfort me. So when she's grieving, she's so sad, and whenever we are hurt or whenever we are so sad, we say mother, we think of our mother, we want to go to our mother. The word that comes out, hey ma, ya jo bhi aapka local lingo hai, your mother, you just remember your mother. So she, in her anguish, extreme plight, is mourning for her mother, but of course no one came to comfort me. Not a soul reasoned quietly with me as my own mother used to do. So whenever you have any problem, your mother will, in a very quiet voice, she will reason with you. Reason with you, she'll try to talk to you, she'll try to make you understand things, she'll try to make things bearable, reasonable. She'll just discuss things with you. You can all imagine, we all have been there. So your mother's voice soothes, your mother's voice reasons, your mother's voice comforts. But here, not a soul reasoned quietly with me as my mother used to do. Then there's a semicolon. For now, I was one only one of many little animals driven by a herder. She has lost her sense of individuality. Right now, she feels she's one of many little animals. She's lost her human dignity. She's lost her sense of individuality. So she's just one of many little animals driven by a herder. So collectively, they are being managed. Nobody has the time to look into their individual requirements. She wanted someone to reason with her, she wanted someone to talk to her, but of course, there's no one. And there are three things in this paragraph I want you to note. First, I lost my spirit. Second, I was one of many little animals. So she's lost her spirit, she's lost her sense of individuality, she has lost her sense of human dignity. Very deep. All right. Question answers will be discussed later. And the next session, first, we are going to Bahama's story. Okay. I hope this helps everybody.